Well, good morning and welcome to today's edition of the program Inside Politics on Legacy FM. Inside Politics is a session of our program where we do a deep dive into political happenings, leadership, government policies and programs across the country. We also dig deep into government at the local level, at development centers, zonal politics, and indeed politics as it concerns socio-cultural organizations, institutional development, and the rest. On today's edition of the program, our focus is going to be advocating for a violence-free campaign era in Ebonyi State and across the Federation. My name is Godfrey Chikwere, and to join us on the program this morning, let me remind you that we're streaming this program live on our Facebook platform. And you can also join the program by calling the studio lines. That's first to 0814-915-1674. Again, 0814-915-1274. Alternatively, you can also join the program by calling 0812-889-9569. Central line is 070-1166-1003. Please, if you call us, do well to turn down the volume on your radio set. If you're a Nigerian, you will remember that Osun State election is coming up for tomorrow. Just 2 days ago, there have been issue of a 7th senator who has been adjudged to be imprisoned by this time if our system is working effectively. If you do a thing of comparison, you'll recall that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was sentenced to life imprisonment because of his violent utterances. Example, the court factored areas he have advocated that people should take to violence and neutralize fellow human beings. That was exactly what Senator Falarin Shaw in Osun State stated a few days ago, where he said that supporters of APC should kill Accord members anywhere they are cited, that they should take him by his words and keep him on record. Few hours after, like Adams Oshomole, when he was cited romancing the foot of a South African girl, very deliciously looking lady, Adams Oshomole described the video as fake and AI generated. That sumptuous romantic video was not human based but AI generated. Although it was the lady that actually first made that video clip public, but subsequently deleted it. The issue was resurrected by Godswill Akpabio weeks ago, where he made reference to a senator who was seen massaging the foot of a foreign lady, a very white foot at that, and I'm sure that that foot must be very soft. And Oshomole once again took further steps to say that Akpabio should cease fire. That was exactly what Senator Falarin Shaw has done a few days ago. He was recorded in a video saying that APC members in Osun State should kill Accord family members, members of Accord Party in Osun State. He subsequently went to Channels Television, where he said that he spoke metaphorically, that he didn't say kill human being, but eliminate the political party with your votes and the rest. Otilo. In the evening, he went to TVC News and said that, okay, what you actually saw was AI generated and not, what is it called, a real picture, video of him saying that Accord members should be killed. 2 days after, Nigerian police force invited him after 2 hours. They allowed him to go. The policeman who was in charge of the case was even addressing him as a distinguished senator. The man who threatened and advocated that his foot soldiers should go and neutralize fellow human beings. Bringing it down to Ebonyi State, the event is now escalating. The threats and verbal exchange of words is happening, especially between PDP members, NDC members, and members of the ruling party. Followers of opposition parties are also using strong languages, while the current slogan of some of the appointees of the current government is that if you do anyhow, you will see spirit. And let me break down what that statement means. Naturally, you cannot see spirit while you are still in human flesh. You can only see spirit as a non-living thing, maybe when you have passed on. And some of the politicians making such unguided statements should know that everybody is not a fool. When you tell a member of the opposition party that if you come home or if you do anyhow, you will see spirit, you are indirectly saying that you will kill somebody. That's the practical interpretation of what that statement means. Because you cannot see spirit in human flesh. You can only see spirit after death. So they will now know that all of us are not foolish. As if that's not enough, we have also cited some of the opposition political party members using unfair languages and provocative languages on the person and personality of the governor of Ebonyi State, from describing him as incompetent. Some have also described him in some languages that is not permissible to use in established media like Legacy FM. And that can be said to be provocative and can ginger members of the ruling party to act violence. So we'll be classifying the kind of violence growing in Ebonyi today in three folds. Physical violence, where some persons have actually collected water. Example is Ifeanyi Nwori and Guta, that is Bazago. And his wife is also alleging that she has had miscarriage after the attack in their house. Then leaving the issue of physical attack, if you go to Ebonyi social media space for some days now, it has been very gory verbally, where young people are now saying that once you are a member of the opposition political party, you are allegedly classified as a cultist. That is AKA members of Clear Road or Get Them Down, and you'll be given treatment reserved for cultists, even though we don't support jungle justice of any form. The opposition parties have also crying from the wilderness of politics, saying we are not cultists, we're only carrying out our constitutional mandate and duties, of also asking for rights to vote and be voted for. The social media comment section is where you will see the real humans who are feeling this verbal violence, where somebody you know on a daily basis, the person's background, the person's living characteristics, and suddenly another individual is describing the person as a cultist. Apart from that, Nigerian Union of Journalists Ebonyi State Chapter have also collected their own fair share of political water, where some of the members have been abused in different occasions. The chairman of the Correspondent Chapel, Uchenna Inya, was on Channels Television about 3 weeks ago, where he described allegedly that the legal practitioner actually laid a siege on the NUJ members who have gone to Ezza South to cover activities of the People's Democratic Party members. Well, in all his narrative, he didn't mention the name of the lawyer or the skin color of the lawyer. The NUJ members have also not shown video clip, but it was cited that some persons were in their pools of blood from pictures emerging from that Ezza South. So you cannot say that the opposition political party members are free from verbal violence. In fact, the guests in the studio here have once described, on several occasions, called the executive governor of Ebonyi State incompetent. And that can be termed to be a provocative language on the office of the governor of the president. So Charles Otu is here.
Incompetence is not a provocative language. If you say someone is incompetent, you have to marry it with the actions that justify the conduct of that person, whether in or out of office. Godfrey, there was a time I said that I wrote in my newspaper that Governor Mahi then was parading thugs in his government. They sued me for sedition, for libel, and we were in court. All the judge needed to ask was, can you provide proof of thugs when you see one? I said, their activities are known. I just downloaded, got all the reports of thugs attack, thugs. And since the government did not debunk that, it became sufficient explanation for that use of the language that thugs were on rampage during the Mahi's government. But that, the narrative you read about, I first of all would like to state that this edition is sponsored by Organico Ebonyi. At Organico Ebonyi, we've looked at the trends. I was waiting, but it had not downloaded fully. A bogus document that was sent when we did our online Nkato Organico Ebonyi in 2021, where we profiled violence preceding elections, beginning from at least 2011 till 2021. Ebonyi has recorded more cases than any state in the southeast. And
political violence?
Yes, political violence.
Okay.
Yes, and we were worried by that trend, including issues of, like you said, there are classifications, there are those of verbal violence, and it's always this verbal violence that leads to physical violence. Now, I expected you should also describe those who have been leading the attack on the opposition in Ebonyi, rightly. By rightly, I mean they are saying that the opposition people are courtists and there are anti-court marshals. You've been seeing it on social media. As a matter of fact, the fact they were done with Ezas out, they are now started writing that we are going very soon. We are moving into Ezanot to cleanse Ezanot of court activities. And the question to ask really is, Godfrey, when did the government constitute these anti-court marshals? Number one, who trained these anti-court marshals? Number two, who inaugurated them? And what are the modus operandi of these anti-court marshals? For all intent and purpose, what Organic Boy has looked at is generally the unprovoked attacks on individuals, especially that leads to physical violence. And we've found out that, like rightly pointed out, verbal attacks virtually leads to these physical attacks. And these verbal attacks have been ongoing since 1st of August. Today is the 14th day of August, if I'm correct. And for more than 14 days now, let me say for more than 2 weeks now, these verbal wars have been going on, verbal war of words, where appointees of government will come out boldly to say, look, we have been mandated not to allow any political activity to hold. Godfrey is started from the primaries.
Can you attach name to any of those things? You say that appointees of the government have been coming out to say you're not allowed to do primaries.
Let me point a background. Let me paint a picture. During the NDC primaries, I was one of the returning officers accredited by INEC to return Ishelu local government. We got to the venue of that election. The first venue written on the venue in INEC office was Ezulo Primary School. By 9 a.m., the whole place was cordoned off. They said on the directive of the chairman of Ishelu local government, Mrs. Ifomago, that there is a directive from government not to use the venue. Our supporters, the supporters of NDC, shifted to the place they call Rest House. You know Rest House?
Yes.
That military checkpoint, that was where they now wanted to do the primary. We got there. As soon as we got there, the coordinator of Opoto Development Center, one Ikpo, I may not remember the other names.
There's nothing like Opoto Development. That should be Ishelu East.
Ishelu is the Development Center. That axis is Opoto axis. Yeah. And that Ikpo is from Opoto. I am calling names so that you know that I'm specific about. This was as far back as May ended. I think it was on 29th or 30th of May that incident took place. They came there, scattered the place, pursued the people, and they said this is government land, that they don't want anything to happen in government land. Godfrey, that primary is actually held in in Kalaha Primary School along the road. If you're going to your place, I'm sure you know the school by the right. Yeah. That was where we eventually ran to hold that primaries. Now you ask yourself, what is the interest of the ruling party in what an opposition party is doing? This one I talk about is NDC. Godfrey, all the PDP primaries that I monitored, including the primaries of Maria, of Enudu Mashima, and others, were including that of even the governorship candidate, were held in private homes of people. Because the appointees will always say, the government said, don't give them access to primary school. If these things have been happening since May, and the governor added a bite to it by saying on June 15th that he has all it takes to conjure his opponents, has the appointees not been more empowered to even deal with opponents?
The Commissioner for Information Ebonyi State have given clarification to that the oppositions misinterpreted what the governor said. That when the governor said he has all it takes to consume, could be just a mere political statement, maybe resources.
Well, I was happy. I just heard you talking about Senator Fadausi,
yes,
who also has said
that APC members should kill accord members
with votes, not physically. He now said
afterthought, because after the whole thing, he said it's AI generated. What if the governor comes tomorrow and said that image you are saying that he has all it takes is AI generated? Because it's now a slogan in APC.
It is not AI generated. Godfrey, they were live on the national television. TVC reported it. I still have a video clip of it on my phone.
Okay, let's go to...
No, I'm giving you the background to this violence.
Go ahead.
This thing started even before the primaries. Why is it that the ruling party cannot even... Like, what Godfrey, before now, what we used to do is, what we used to see is during campaigns, there will be issues of tearing of posters, billboards. That's how it used to start. Now, it started from verbal war of words. From verbal war of words to saying government does not approve, government did not approve. How can government deny opposition members access to public facilities that they themselves also use? We had a primary school in Ezilo that we were supposed to do that primaries. It was disrupted. We went to a rest house. They said that place is also government land. It was disrupted. We even we're going to another person, somebody's compound. They threatened the man before we landed up in the primary school I mentioned at Ishelu, what was it? Nkalaha Primary School. Were this not prognosis, even for the security agencies to be prepared? The police was with us in that primaries, and the police couldn't do anything to stop the people who were trying to stop party members from exercising their franchise. And that day was the last date for that primaries to be conducted, because it was the last day INEC gave. So what is the ruling party doing in opposition activities?
Okay.
These are the backgrounds. But then, what Ebonyi is looking at generally is how peace can be reestablished.
Okay, Charles, you need to be fair in some of those establishments you've made now. If you are a council chairman, and there's a primary school or secondary school within your domain, and a political party or even a church organization plan to have an event there, are you not supposed to previously give notification to maybe the chairman, who is the chief security officer of the place?
Godfrey, that's not what the Constitution, Electoral Act, and all the guidelines of the elections.
So you think you can wake up now and carry maybe gospel band and go to any? Go ahead.
I'm coming. Look at.
I'm talking about the one that has to do with public facilities.
Exactly. Let me tell you what the law stipulates.
Okay.
If you write the police,
okay,
it is the police that has the duty.
Okay, to notify
the chairman, the commissioner of police of Ebonyi State should notify the DPO of Ishelu police station, the Ishelu police division, okay, that these people are holding their primaries. So if you have no business there, why should you even go there?
That has been established. Do you think Ebonyi State Police Command are culprits in this whole
I've been exonerating the State Police Command led by the Commissioner of Police. I have been exonerating them, but the recent statement from the PPRO got me thinking aloud. Godfrey, you are aware that the PPRO issued a statement and said the opposition has never, they are not aware of all that is happening. They have no petitions. When police said there is no petition, and there were a team of policemen watching journalists escape being burnt alive in Ikwati Dembia, Asuchenia alleged on Channels Television.
But let me
it is the duty of the police.
The opposition are not supposed to petition the police. No, after being
Godfrey, it is even wrong to say there have been no petitions. As at yesterday, I'm sure you must have seen even from social media that one Otio, who was a former DC coordinator, now the chairman of Pipe Production Factory, was reported to have been nabbed by through a petition made to the Inspector General of Police.
Okay.
Directly. And one other person too, one or two other persons too, were also said to have been arrested and taken to Abuja. As we speak, we don't know whether they have been released. As I speak, I don't know whether they have been released or whether they have been granted bail or whatever is the background. But one thing is certain, Godfrey, it is the ruling party, because we reviewed these things at Ebonyi. If you have your manifesto, Godfrey, are you not supposed to go about canvassing your manifesto? We are like one candidate that is running the election said, he said, we are all beggars. What are we begging for? Votes. Do you go to beg somebody with violence or by saying, I attach a position like when you say I attach a position like and there is opposition going on in Izi local government. Abga and DPC members are coexisting peacefully in Izi.
Okay, what
Ojimba is running for Senate.
That I was going to that area.
T-Man is running for reps in Ohuku. There have been no clashes.
That's the
and you now call off two local governments and say, I attach a position like are you normal? That is what we are asking in Ebonyi. And the people saying these things, do they know what it means in a democracy to say you don't want opposition? So if you don't want opposition and I want opposition, Godfrey, I should be attacked for wanting opposition. Is that the law?
I've tried to reach the police PPRO twice now, so his number is not reachable.
I would have loved him to react because the press statement he made totally contradicts the fact that some arrests have been made in the issue of the attack on Chris Nguta's compound
When was the arrest made?
The arrests were reportedly made yesterday. And as we speak, there are still tension building up because people are still saying, look, some thugs or call them whatever you call them, they said the anti-court marshals. They are still saying, look, we are moving into a Zanod very soon. Look, Godfrey, you will not bring that thing to another man's land and go home. I'm saying it on air so that the police, the security agencies will know that this violence are, they are not coming from nowhere. There are names mentioned. Honorable Lazobe, a former rep member, you are aware that he has been mentioned even on national television by Ikechukwu. He said a former...
But he didn't mention his name. He only ended up by saying a former rep member. You are the one mentioning Lazobe now. So you have...
Lazobe reacted. The fact I have is that Lazobe said he was physically... You read the report that he was physically available in Ikwati Dembia, where he said he was going to somewhere and he saw people that gathered. He went in to rescue the people that were... And they said the people said they were having court meetings and all of that. What is Lazobe leaving Amezekwe to go and do in Ikwati Dembia?
He has freedom of movement.
He has freedom of movement. When you are now seen at the scene of a crime, the police should let you in and investigate you. That is the law.
Okay.
In fact, that they will know whether, as we were passing, were you invited to come out? Was that really a quarrel? Was this really a court gathering? How do you describe Godfrey before Ifeanyi they did that meeting? But Ifeanyi they said he notified the police. In fact, he wrote the police, he wrote the DSS. And the report he claimed he said he got from the police, reportedly from him. He said it on the national television during the press conference. He said the report he got was that police said he should shift the event. At some point, police said, okay, don't shift it. We'll provide the security. Only for police to stay there and watch talks descend on a gathering, a peaceful gathering for that matter. These things are building up. We are calling attention now because the campaigns have not started. When the campaign starts, Godfrey, there is no law that says you should go and take permission. Or if I'm supporting party A or supporting party B, I should leave my community because my community does not want opposition. There is no law that stipulates that.
Okay, going forward, some persons have testified on social media that since the inception of this administration, at no point has the governor of Ebonyi State shown signs of violence or impeding of freedom of expression. In fact, it's under his watch that Ebonyi State got 2 private radio stations. We have been holding both opposition
including myself. Including myself.
And the opposition parties are leaving the substances of people cited in those areas and also extending the blame to the governor of Ebonyi State. Are you thinking that the governor is playing maybe a discrete role in all this attack on oppositions in Ebonyi State?
Why I may not accuse the governor directly, and first of all, I have to give the governor kudos for... I've been fair. Under the last administration, I and you, Godfrey, know that I will not be coming as regularly as I come to this station, just like other stations, to speak about the government, where they are doing right or where they are doing wrong. It was not, it's a privilege we didn't have in the last administration. He needs to be commended for that.
Okay.
But Godfrey, what is annoying is that what I would prefer is for the governor to now come out to address this matter of appointees using his name. Godfrey, I'm sure I've mentioned Pisago. I've mentioned the coordinator officially is Igbo. I can go, I've mentioned Lazobe. I've mentioned Otio. I am mentioning these names because they are using the governor's name.
I hope you know they will have right of response after this program.
Godfrey, if you invite them and invite me, I and Barrister Gbom start opposite each other here. I will be available. You know it. I will not even be afraid because I would want to look at the person pointedly. We have been hearing that they are telling the villagers that it is the governor's instruction. Let them do position like
Why do you think this? Why do you think the violence disposition is common within Ezza South precisely?
Why it is common? You know the premeditating factors. Number one is the incumbent senator there, Senator Kennedy, appears to not have delivered. The constituents are not happy with him. You could see it with roasted Barrister Gbom.
But if you are here, Abon read out some of his achievements.
Yes, the masses also, even the callers did not agree with some of those. In fact, we fact-checked some of those claims. They are not correct.
Like which one?
The issue of employment, for instance, where he wanted to read names, and you said it was not necessary. He said he has, I've forgotten the exact number.
160, that was what he quoted.
Exactly.
So what was the outcome of your fact check?
Our fact check showed that there were no such numbers employed.
So how many number from your fact check? You should have the accurate number then. Agbom is saying over 160. So from your findings, how many persons is the actual number?
The senator from our fact check has not employed up to 100 persons.
So what's the accurate number he has appointed?
Well,
employed?
I may not have the details accurately now, but what I'm pointing out is that the tension you're seeing in Ebonyi Central is only dominant in Exar South, and it is because there is a total grievance against Senator Kennedy. You are aware, we were here, callers were calling.
I hope you know that this topic is not about Kennedy.
No, it's not, but you asked me a question. Why is it beginning from Exar South? Why is particular from Exar South? I've mentioned Kennedy. I'm also going to mention my friend, your friend, Augusto Fianwale, the Commissioner for Commerce and Industry.
So why are you dragging Augusto into the
posts
conversation?
On social media has been quite also provocative.
Like which one are you making reference?
Where he talks about sea spirits. We are the one talking about sea spirits here.
I condemn this, of course, because
he has used it severally on people's comments on Facebook. That opposition will begin to see spirits very soon. What it means is that opposition members will be killed and they will go to the world beyond, and they will now begin to see spirits, because it's only when they are dead that they will see spirits.
It's not only Augusto that statement is attributed to. Because that's why I
there are so many of them. Your friend, Emeka Wong, has been writing the same thing. Nelson Igboke, your friend too, has been your friends.
Why are you attributing them to me as friends?
They are your friends because you have a relationship with them, one or the other.
I don't have.
Okay.
The only person you can attribute to me as a friend is Augusto Fianwale. I don't have a personal relationship with the other two you mentioned.
Okay. Now, this tension is more in Exar South and it is about to snowball to Exar North. And I'm just telling you that the background is from the build-up of even social media.
Did you read a post made by a PDP member? I think Wisdom Edene posted it, where a PDP member threatened that they will no longer take physical attack, that anywhere PDP is gathering again and they come is going to be water. Is that not also violence? And like I said, do you think the opposition in Ebonyi, hold on sir, do you think the opposition in Ebonyi has been fair in criticizing the governor of Ebonyi State in their choice of languages?
Godfrey, to your first question, the issue of opposition trying to re-echo back, that is why we at Organic Ebonyi are wading in now. Because if you come and slap me the first time, Godfrey, I will take it to be a mistake. I'm telling you that this thing started from the primaries, where it was as if you cannot see anywhere that any opposition party can do anything in a primary school or in a public facility. That was the background. Since May, June, July, and from 1st August, between 1st August and 5th August, the attack on Ifeanyi Nwore was on 1st. The attack on GNG was on Thursday, which is about 5th or 6th. So in less than 1 week, they were attacked twice. Godfrey, it is only a tree that will hear that it will be cut down.
Does this not show that the opposition... So that's why we
don't like the statement coming from the opposition too.
Okay.
And that is why we are doing this program. This is a sponsored program by Organic Ebonyi because we want Ebonyans, we want the security agencies to be alive to their responsibilities. What do you think the police should be doing? We also want the governor to come out clean to say, I am in charge of security of lives and property of all Ebonyans, not just my party members. Godfrey, if these things are not clearly established and the campaigns begin on the 19th of August, you're going to see people...
Now, let me tell you,
who will tell you that a primary school is locked up against opposition.
Hold on, Charles. I listened to the governor the day the national chairman came. He didn't just go straight to say that we have what it takes to consume the opposition. I will quote what the governor said verbatim. He said that we will allow every political party to thrive in Ebonyi and campaign for their candidate. But if they try our resolve, we will show them that we have what it takes to consume them. Let's stay on allowing opposition parties. You think that is not a good way of the governor saying, I have no problem with opposition parties established? Because what the opposition party have concentrated on is they left to the first paragraph, went to the second paragraph, where they left where the governor said opposition parties will be allowed to campaign and do their activities. But if they try our resolve, we will show them that we have all it takes to consume them.
Even though you didn't quote him verbatim correctly, very correctly, because that background, you remember, was about Wike being given Ebonyi. He started by saying... No, you didn't say, from the point I started, I quoted it correctly. You may say that I should have gone back to the exactly, because so I'm quoting the aspect. Exactly, he didn't just say it. He was drawing a background from the allegation of Wike being handed over Ebonyi as a PDP state and all of that. Now, why that one is by the side, I don't even want to go into that because of time. Godfrey, my concern is that as a leader, as the father of the state, I love Governor Winfrey for one thing. The fact that
I was coming to that question.
In the last 3 years,
when Winfrey was
more, I have not run away from Ebonyi. Under Omahe, by the first tenor, I knew how many times I ran away from Ebonyi. Sometimes you run to Enugu, you're still afraid in Enugu. You run as far as Abuja.
you are on asylum in Enugu because on several occasions I cited there the street of Enugu. Now,
so the governor has to be giving kudos, but what I expect from him to do, God praise him, and if the governor does it, all this tension will die down. The governor needs to do a state broadcast. I think that the governor needs to do a state broadcast, especially before 19th when the campaigns begin, to reassure opposition, one, that what he said was not to consume, and the people acting with his names. Because I sometimes wonder, if that was the case, why are they not attacking Ojimba supporters in Izzi?
That's the question I want to ask. So hold on. If you go to, it shows the popularity of PDP in Ebonyi. If one would say that, if you see how Ojimba's convoy is sophisticated in terms of mobility, and you see the kind of crowd that goes with him. Yeah. But when we have PDP gathering, we don't seem to see that number, because sometimes opposition only attack when they see when political attack happens. That's why I told someone the other day that you don't differentiate political talk from bandits. That is why bandits go to soft targets. Exactly. They go to village women. They don't come to urban areas.
Exactly.
And if you see when thugs of ruling or opposition wants to attack, they go to soft targets, where they know that the opposition does not have strength. Do you think the problem is that they see that PDP is overwhelmed in terms of number?
No, you should have even maybe used the word.
Because if you see Ojemba moving currently and you're an APC member, I don't think you can approach for
exactly. I thought maybe you would have used underwhelmed. They are not. The PDP is not underwhelmed, because underwhelmed should actually be the right word. They are lesser in number. They are not. Look at what has happened. I painted the background to you, the background of fear. When Ayishuks came, you are aware that the governor, when he came to Ebonyi, I am not speaking for the PDP, but I am privy to the claims that the governor threatened to even pull down the PDP secretariat.
Where did you get this for information?
The PDP issued a statement to that. He called a press conference. Okay. The spokesperson, Comrade Danit Nowe, is your friend. At least somebody have access to. You can ask him. That statement
I'm happy that everybody in Ebonyi is my friend.
Yes, they are your friends, because you've been relating. You have a relationship with them. Even the American one is your very good friend.
Go ahead.
So the PDP threatened. That threat actually made an issue. I learned he later did his acceptance of his victory speech at Dafodi Hotel, belonging to one of the PDP candidates in the election, the New Mashima, in Nkaliki. I'm sure you are aware, because that was, even the video clips, you could see the background of the hotel there. Those were the backgrounds that they were building.
Apart from
people to become afraid of coming out openly to support PDP. That is my own understanding of the background. But then, back to your question on the numbers. Godfrey, it is only when campaigns begin, because campaigns have not even started. Okay. I think at this stage, what people are doing are merely consultations. I asked Chris Nguta. I was the person that interviewed Chris Nguta with Uche Ninya.
Why do you think? Why do you
he said the people, the ward executives, what you saw in his compound were just ward executives across the 11 wards in Ezza North, in Ezza South, that came to, consult him, to pay him a courtesy visit as an elder statesman and chieftain of the party.
All right. Okay.
So if APC is afraid of a party doing consultation, what do you think will happen when they begin campaigns?
Hold on, sir. We have been advocating that young people should be allowed to play a vital role in politics. Let's look at the ESCO member of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ebonyi State. You look at the likes of Sunday Lechinyema, Abalaba, a very experienced politician. You look at the Commissioner for Power, Ugali, a very experienced politician. You look at the likes of maybe Bernard Urucho, the Commissioner for Justice. You also have the likes of the Commissioner for Lands, a very experienced politician, Matthew Mobasi. You don't see this violence coming from the older politicians. Why is it the younger ones that are having opportunities for the first time that are championing this violence?
Thank you for that question. At Organiro Ebonyi, when we were having our meeting, we also looked at this dimension. Number one is, apart from maybe Lazogbe, that's the only old name that we are hearing in the whole of this crisis. I'm not holding brief for him. I'm also not accusing him directly. But one thing is significant. The fact that it seems the younger generation of politicians, people in the brackets of Oguzo Fianwale, my friend, your friend, Utio, my friend, I don't know whether it's also your friend. I think he's the only one, whether maybe that.
I have a very good relationship. Oti is not a friend. I see Oti as an elder brother.
Okay.
So a big brother. So
okay. I have a good relationship. They are the younger generations for me that I feel, had mentioned in this picture. They had a PDP stakeholder, Chris Nguta, when we interviewed him, the full transcript of the interview, in the full transcript, he mentioned that he saw those children and said, these are my children. He didn't feel he will come in harm's way, even when they enter this compound. Management committee members, development center coordinators, young people. The answer to your question is that they seem to be in a hurry to impress the principal, the governor, and they need not be. Because you are young today, your actions today may even determine whether you will be called to the political table tomorrow. All these things that have been written, where you say, you can see even lawyers, like your friend Barrister Gama Steve,